Hey you guys, it's Keandra Jackson here of KW Couples Therapy, and couples pay me money to help them have a healthy, long-lasting relationship by giving them the tools, resources, and actionable steps that they need. I was actually talking to my hairdresser, the one who did my hair. Shout out to Didi for hooking me up because I've been getting compliments on this every day. But I was talking to her when we were at the shop when she was doing my hair, and one of the things she was mentioning was that, you know what, she literally said, she was like, man, I feel like there's an open heaven for entrepreneurs right now, because she was congratulating me on all the accomplishments that I had, and God has been doing some major things in her life too. And we were talking about that and chatting, and then when I went home, I thought about, you know what? There may be an open heaven over entrepreneurs, and if it is so, I receive it. But I feel like the open heaven is over the people who are obedient to what they're supposed to be doing, obedient to the calling, obedient to what God has placed on the inside of you. So it's about those people who say yes. So it's not necessarily that you have to be an entrepreneur and have your own business and all of those things. You can have an open heaven over your life right where you're at just by saying yes. Yes to the calling, yes to what God has for you, yes to the things and the burning desires that He placed on the inside of you. That's where it all starts. And so I like to think of what I do as kingdom work. I'm a woman of faith, right? I know that all of the things, the opportunities, the speaking engagement, the clients, the businesses that God has given me, it's not just for play. I take it very serious because this is kingdom work to me, right? Healing relationships, keeping families together, kingdom work, right? So I like to think of it in that aspect. And I think because I do that so often and put God's work first, that He has blessed me, right? He has blessed me. And so I want you to get to a place where you're saying, you know what, I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say yes to some of the things that I thought was extremely scary, some of the things that I thought that I couldn't do, some of the things that people told me that I couldn't do. Y'all heard my story. I shared how I almost dropped out of graduate school because one of the professors told me that I wasn't going to be a good therapist, right? But look where I am today. And so sometimes God positions just one of us, just one person who says yes to His calling. He positions you in a place of elevation, for increase, for abundance, for overflowing, for that measure that's pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. Not always for you, but it's for your bloodline. It's for the generations that's going to come. It's for the people who haven't even been born yet, but they can say, you know what, my great cousin, my great aunt, my great, she was this and she was that powerful. She shifted everything in our generational tree. So it doesn't matter what other people say about you. It doesn't matter the failures and the disappointments and the shortcomings that you have. All that matters is that you keep up and keep pushing, because there's people who are counting on you. People who are counting on you. It doesn't matter if substance abuse runs in your family. It doesn't matter if you come from poverty. It doesn't matter if you come from people who haven't completed high school and dropped out. That doesn't matter. Let me tell you what God does. God, He calls you first, and then He qualifies you. Let that sink in. God calls you, and then He qualifies you. He does not qualify people that have already been called. Excuse me, the other way around. He doesn't call people that have already been qualified. If you look in the Bible, He calls people first. And they weren't even like in a position to do what they wanted to do, what God had instructed them to do, right? Noah was like, what? Ain't nobody building no ark if you don't get up out of here. He was like, what? Look at David. We can look at all of these people in the Bible that done some amazing things, who were just an average Joe, so to speak, just an average person. But God used him or her mightily to shift whole generations. And I'm not here to preach because I just felt it, but I just wanted to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to be the game shifter in your life. Be the game shifter in your family. Be the game shifter in your generation. Be blessed.